Welcome back. Well, thousands of displaced Palestinians are this morning returning to what remains of their homes in northern Gaza. It comes after Israel agreed to open military checkpoints that have been closed for more than a year.
Just look at those crowds flooding back in. For more on this, we're joined by Mirette Mabrouk from the Middle East Institute in Washington, D.C. Mirette, thank you so much for your time this morning. Appreciate it. Where on earth does this sea of people go with little infrastructure when, for many, there's nothing left?
So it's a good question, but first of all, thank you for having me on. It's a good question, but I think they're going home because you want to realize that these people have been essentially living in a hell for over a year, and they could have gone elsewhere. They could have scooted over the border to Egypt, because even though Egypt has said that it doesn't want to take refugees, the Egyptian military is not about to fire on fleeing women and children. But they want to go home, and they spent hours and hours walking, essentially going home to piles of rubble. So it's it's terrible. But I think there's also the thing that they want to see whether there's anyone left alive, and if not, they want to try and collect their dead from under the rubble.
Oh, it's just horrific to even contemplate, isn't it, Mirette? And to Carl's point, they are going back to nothing. You mentioned they're escaping hell. They're kind of returning to hell, though it is their home. I mean, how do they live going forward? The logistics of even getting into their homes and then trying to prosper from there.
So most of the homes are gone. The vast majority of Gaza has been leveled, and reconstruction is going to be a monumental undertaking because it isn't just a matter of money, although that requires billions and billions, and God knows where it's going to come from. The logistics will be difficult because it isn't just reconstruction; it's governance as well. And with governance, we have issues because the Israelis, specifically Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, has said that he doesn't want. I mean, obviously, nobody wants Hamas involved in the governance, and I think actually Hamas by now the shoe has dropped, and they realise that isn't going to happen. But also, Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that he doesn't want Palestinian Liberation Organization to be involved as well. And that would be difficult because you have to have Palestinians involved in the governance because no one else will touch it with the barge pole. So there are complications, to put it mildly, but everybody has to start somewhere.
That is, of course, everyone assuming that for the next little bit of time, the ceasefire holds.
It's a big if. It's the sort of thing really where any small thing will set it off. I mean, the checkpoints were opened after a delay because on Saturday, Hamas had released 4 women as had been agreed, but then the Israelis said that of the 4 women, there was a name that they had expected. The 4 women released were 4 women soldiers, and the Israelis had been expecting to see a civilian, and Miss Arbel Yahoud, who had been kidnapped on the 7th. They said that she wasn't there, and therefore they held everything up. Now, apparently, it has been sorted. She will be released with the next batch of prisoners on Saturday or Sunday, I think. So they opened up the checkpoints. But you also have to remain that while there is allegedly a ceasefire in Gaza, hopefully there is a current temporary cessation of hostilities in Gaza, that was followed up, immediately with an acceleration of the pounding that the West Bank was getting. So really, the entire thing is a tinderbox.
All right, and we're at a lot of issues. Appreciate you being on our show.
Thank you, Mirette.
Thank you. Next, the